Today I'll be doing a review of Prima's Vintage Pastel Set while creating and testing all of these colors out on this watercolor project. Stay tuned. I've been super enjoying taking the time to, first of all, splurge on these little Prima sets. I'm really loving all of them. So today I'm going to open another one. These are, none of these videos are sponsored. These are all me and my ridiculous purchases. Just sharing with you here on YouTube so you can see if this is something that you would be interested in, and just to show you for funsies. So these are the Vintage Pastels. Again, I love these little curated boxes because someone has taken the time to choose all the colors for me. And then I just get to have a lovely play session. So I also love when you open them, they come individually wrapped in these gorgeous little baby gift boxes they even look like. I love their swatch card because it's actually, paper that can handle the watercolor, just a little splotch for each of them. The only thing I don't like about Prima's watercolor sets is that they line them up and they put the colors in this beautiful, very sensical row. And then they don't normally, oh, maybe they did this time? Oh my gosh, I take it back. Okay, this one, interesting. These look like they're in the same orders. Usually on the other sets, this order is not what's inside, and they're all kind of scrambled up. So you can see here the colors: Periwinkle Sage, Golden Glow Terracotta Suede, Stone Gray, Breezy Soft Lilac Charcoal, Dark Rose, Apple Blossom, and Dusky Mauve. So I'm not going to bore you with opening all of these. This is not something that's fun to watch. I'll do one and then I'll skip to when they're all unpackaged. But there's basically this little baby paper package, and then these are individually wrapped themselves. The number is on them, which is really nice too, because sometimes, or if you do want to reorder them, I swatch both in the swatch card given to me, and I also swatch in a dedicated watercolor swatches book. So if I want to reorder them, then I don't get confused because I have the numbers on the side. So that's very thoughtful, and I appreciate that very much. So after they have them all opened, I will just turn my camera back on and you can see what they look like in the pan. All right, everything is unwrapped. This looks like a box of candy. I am tickled pink. Total pun intended. Look at these. They look like candy. They're just the loveliest little colors. So I'm gonna swatch. You have to swatch your watercolors if you want to see what they look like, because they look very different oftentimes from in the pan than they do on your paper. And make sure you're swatching on watercolor paper. That's also why I have a dedicated journal. This little super skinny journal that I do all my swatching in, because then you can also get a little sneak peek into how they're gonna behave. You can also look are they shimmery? Are they granulating? Are they matte? What are they? So it gives you a little sneak peek into their behavior. So that's also why swatching is a must. So don't skip that step. It's actually super, I was gonna say rewarding, it is, but it's also really relaxing. So for this, I always like to just actually put my music on, or I'll put on a podcast, and I just kind of this is quality time with myself and with my paints. I'm getting to know them, and I'm allowing the colors and the feel of the brush and the water to inspire the project that I'm going to start working on in a minute. So there's a lot of benefits to the swatching process, and a lot of them are kind of soft behind the scenes benefits. It just kind of makes you feel good. So I'm using my Polina Bright brushes for all of my swatching, as well as my project today. Love her and her brushes. And then I'm going to be doing this project. I just transferred the outline of a photograph onto my sheet so I could just get right to the fun coloring part. If you want to learn how to draw faces, including 3/4 portraits, I highly recommend you check out my book, How to Draw and Find Your Style. It's a bestseller. It's quite a ginormous book, but it helps you learn how to draw if something that you're interested in. And I also have a YouTube channel dedicated to drawing, although I don't upload in as much as I upload on this one because frankly I'm tired. All right, let's swatch. So when I'm swatching, it's really important to have some clean paper towels nearby because you're going to be washing your brush thoroughly between each and every set of paints. So every pan. So you want to make sure that you're not having any residual paint from one, get on your brush and then taint the color of another. So, oh gosh, oh, it's so light. It's so light and dreamy. So yeah, this is when I'm really gonna, and I'm not gonna show me swatching every one. Again, I think that's rather boring as far as TV watching is concerned, but I'm just gonna give you a little inside peek in real time as I get started here. So you can see, I'm actually trying to lay down quite a little bit of, a lot of pigment because it's so light. So again though, I would rather discover this before I get to my final project, right? Like I don't want any surprises. So let's swatch. So then I'm gonna clean my brush off really thoroughly. I keep glass beads in the bottom of my watercolor brush water, like for my brushes, because it helps knock loose gently all the remaining paint pigments or molecules that may be attached to my brush. And then I can just tap it on my paper towel just to make sure that all the pigment is gone before diving in. And I don't use to the next color. And I don't use a ton of water. Wow. Because you don't want it too thinned out, because I really want to kind of see like what does this color look like. Holy moly, it's so bright. So this is going to be a challenge for me right off the bat because I love bold, obnoxious colors, and these are very dainty, quiet, polite, soft pastel colors. So this will be a good challenge for me to see if I can do it. See if I can do it without like breaking down and adding like inks or something that's just obnoxious, like I said. So I'm noticing I need quite a bit of water and pressure in these little half pans to get any pigment transferred, wow, to my paper. I wasn't going to show this in real time, but I'm actually very surprised at just how light and pastel these colors are. Yikes. Yikes-a-roomy. Okay, and this is the pink one. This is the first of the pinks. It's all really light. And you know what I haven't done is actually gone on YouTube and taken a sneak peek at what other people have created with this palette. I'm half wishing I had, and I'm half glad that I didn't, because maybe I'm the first one. I doubt it. I highly doubt it. Everything's been done before. But I'm excited to see what happens on this project. I'm not excited that I added, I did the transfer in such dark carbon, why can't I talk? Carbon transfer paper, because those lines are not going to go away. That being said, I am quite an outliner, so maybe I won't have to outline it at the end because kind of the outlines have been there since the beginning. The downside of the transfer paper is that it's not erasable. It's not graphite. There is graphite oh, that's really pretty, this stone gray. That's gorgeous. That would be a lovely stone castle color. I have castles on the brain. It's just emailing with Ward Hill Castle. Ward Hill Castle is where Lucy Bryden and I have our annual Scottish art retreats, and actually we have another retreat coming up in just a couple of weeks. We're going back to Scotland and rented a different castle this time, Lickley Head Castle. So I have castle on my mind. So as you can see, look at this gorgeous light baby, barely there, light blue. Wow. Ooh, see, that's way too much water. You don't really want to puddle. And again, then it dilutes the paint so much you actually can't really get a good grasp of what it looks like. Oh, what the heck, I'll just keep this in real time. And then I do take the time to write in, oh, look at this baby purple. It's precious. I do take the time to write in the names in my journal as well, but I'm just skipping that step for now, just in the interest of viewer satisfaction and time. That's that soft lilac. That's ridiculous. Here's this charcoal. I really want to see. Oh, even the charcoal is quite, oh no, that's like straight up black. Interesting. Well, that'll be interesting. So one of the things I like to do with these Prima watercolor reviews, again, not sponsored, just for fun, is I like to challenge myself to do an entire project using only these colors, but also all of the colors. So like not skipping any and not introducing any outside colors. So far I've been able to do it with a few of the sets. The terrain set, I did a full lesson on, Let's see. Usually lately these have also been showing up in my Celtic Collective art club. I just can never tire of the Fae. They're always my favorite. I did a really nice, my favorite one is the Current, where I did a male elf. That one is my favorite so far. Oh no, I just skipped that one in my book. So today I do have another Fae inspired fairy. She's got some wings, so I'm excited to, oh, I did it again. What the heck? I'm excited to get these going on an actual watercolor project, and I'll see if I can stand how light the colors are, because again, I tend to prefer really dark, moody, strong, bold colors, and these are the antithesis of that. Like, I do really like how all of these are different though. Sometimes I find that the colors are almost exactly the same in these sets, and then I'm like, that does not help me very much. So here you go. They're soft as a summer's kiss. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. All right. So we have, yeah, that sage is so pretty. So again, to reiterate, one thing I love about these sets is they all go together. So I really can just grab my outline or my sketch or my transfer and dive in. I can pick any of these and I know that they're gonna quote unquote match. It's a really nice upside to these sets. All right, so I'm gonna quick label these offline because that's boring to watch, and then I'm gonna dive in with my project. All right, so I have this all completed. Again, I always wish, like, why don't they put that at the end? It bothers me that they have like a random dark color in the middle of this beautiful rainbow. But that's just me being annoyingly picky. I don't even know where to start. I actually feel like starting with the background today. I don't know why, I'm just feeling crazy. So I'm gonna start with my Big Fat Daddy Paulina Bright mop. Mops are really great for tons of water, which is what I kind of want to do today. I'm feeling adventurous. I'm working on arches, 300 gram. This is the good stuff. I've been busting out my good paper lately. I have had this pad of paper for probably 10 years. I tend to use Fabriano hot and cold press that are more like 25% cotton rather than 100% cotton. It brings down the price significantly, and the quality is still really good. All right, so I'm just gonna I'm gonna do a rainbow from top to bottom. What the heck? So where would my red be? I guess the red would be like the dark rose. Oh, my paintbrush got in that black as well. I'm just gonna go down. So we have red. Where would my orange be? That would be the terracotta. Red, orange, barely there, orange. Yellow would be next, right? Yellow, green, is there really, yep. Green is the sage. You can barely see these colors, so we are gonna have to go in again, and maybe again and again and again. Blue, there's two blues. There's this periwinkle and then the breezy. Periwinkle is a little bit more colorful, sort of. Damn, so this is called wet on wet, when you have a wet paint going onto a really wet background. And as you can see, with this particular, there's the periwinkle. Oh, sorry, that's the soft lilac. Periwinkle was the blue before. That's the first one that I'm actually seeing any actual color. And then we can, let's do, here, blue, purple, we'll do some pink. Look, you can barely even see these. So wet on wet wash is not gonna be highly effective with this set. Damn. Yeah, we're gonna have to go back in quite a bit again. So, but that's the first test. So clearly they are so pastel, they barely show up on my paper. That's pretty crazy. What if I do, all right, I'm gonna go in with a little less water, but I'm gonna start again at the top. My paper is still soaking wet, and really try to actually add some more pigment. So this is take 2, wet on wet application. There we go. So a little less water. There's a little less water on my page, and there's a little less water in my brush. So then I would do what comes after red. Then we have our orange. Again, I'm trying to really sop up some orange here. Let's get going. How about the yellow? There we go. So as my paper dries a bit, yellow green, we can hopefully, nope, that green just doesn't want to give up the pigment. There we go. This will be our rainbow fairy. Again, the blue, which is that periwinkle here. And then the lilac you can kind of still see. So I'm a little underwhelmed. I told you this might annoy me. All right, so I'm gonna dry that, even though it's really underwhelming. It's like annoyingly underwhelming to me. But that's me, that's just my personality flaw. That's not the paints. I'm gonna try to add a little bit more of that pink. And then I will dry my paper, and then we'll go in a little bit more seriously to her face and actually begin to kind of fill her in. But yeah, it's really, they're not joking about the pastel part. All right, so I've dried her mostly, and I want to start getting a little bit more serious about her face. So I'm gonna join together the yellow, the Golden Glow yellow. Still interesting to see if I can like get any pigment off of here. And I'm gonna marry that with the Suede, which is like this chalky neutral. I'm saving the terracotta for some of the like darker regions because we don't have any dark paints. So it's gonna be hard to create like a contrast and shading because we don't really have any darker colors to kind of work with here. So I'm just using whatever I have. Again, I'm challenging myself to use the set as is. So this is the combination of those two colors to get sort of a neutrally skin tone. And again, I could have and should have also added the terracotta to make this less yellow. And forget it if you wanted to make a darker skin tone, you really can't. But you know, this is not like a portrait set, so you have to keep that in mind as well. I just love to challenge myself in weird ways. It's just a me thing. You can ignore this suggestion entirely, but it's just kind of fun. Like, can we do it? If these were the only colors in the whole world. Oh crap, I used the wrong color. See, that was the orange. That's what I was going to use to make the darker contrasting shadows. I added it prematurely. I need to save it because we don't have many options here. So again, this is, why I was going to say cocoon. What the heck did that come from? Golden Glow and Suede. All right, so this is her body and her face. Kind of layer one. And that's like about as dark as I could make those. I'm not using very heavy water application whatsoever. All right, so now if I want to add in some contrasting like shadow areas, let's see if we can whip up some semblance of a darker color. I do not want to use the black or the charcoal, excuse me. I'm just gonna add this terracotta. We could also add the dark rose, but it's not very dark. So I'm just gonna go step by step as I always do. Okay, so this is just whatever left over from the first two, plus adding the orange or terracotta. So if her hair is here, she's gonna have a little bit of a shadow line kind of here and here. And under her neck should be a little darker too, if we can build up some color. Color, are you there? Yeah, I can see some. And then this is the far side. I like to have the light source coming this way so that the far side has the shading on it. It's just kind of like, it's easiest to read that way. I'm not being tremendously careful. This is still sort of like a giant swatch test, really. So I'm not going particularly slowly. I'm not making it my life's work, as my parents used to say. Don't make your life's work. I'm just kind of having fun. And there should be some shade in her armpit. Boop. And perhaps back here, because like her hair is falling, so probably around there will be shaded too. Okay, so you can see a little bit. Oh, and also don't forget around this eye as well. Since around the eyes, it's usually set back a bit. And then we can even give her like a little cheek. Why not? Kind of bring it in a little bit just to show that she has like a cheekbone. Makes her a little bit older. You wouldn't have a cheekbone if she was a child. So we can even do this on her lips, because her lips, again, we don't really have any dark colors, even though I know it says rose is dark, but it's really not. All right, so now, again, I'm just gonna go down the value scale, so trying desperately to have something get a little bit darker. I'm gonna add the terracotta, which is what I just was using, with the dark rose to see if we can get a third darker color. I work very systematically pretty much with all my projects. I find it's nice because it helps me make sense of what I'm doing, but it also is a benefit because it helps me be able to very quickly and easily replicate what I did before if it turned out well. And if it doesn't turn out well, then I know, okay, well, I know what I did, so I'm not going to do that again. So if you're only working ever intuitively, sometimes it's a lot harder to learn and be more consistent over time. All right, I'm going to dry this super fast with my hair dryer and then come back and do this next darker color. All right, so yeah, she has some dimension now. I'm trying to look and see too if this yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to make sense of this new product. And is it chalky? So again, I'm just gonna go around the eye. You can make her like so this side of the nose. Sometimes it's just easier to just do that whole side of the face. Like, that's in the shade. But if you want to lift, you decided, oh, I want like a little highlight in there, you could just lift off some of that. And again, I don't know how I'm going to differentiate her lips with so little color. So we're just going, I think this is about as dark as I can get. With the colors straight out of the pan. And every time I'm going in the darker region, I just make that area smaller, so we still see a bit of the second shade in there. All right, let's try some of these other colors, since we are, again, quite limited what we can do. Another thing I'm interested in doing is seeing if I mix the purple and the yellow, will that give me a strong neutral, since the purple is, so this is a good experiment. So the purple and the yellow are opposites on the color wheel, so they're gonna make like a neutral, and maybe we can use that for a darker version a darker variety, perhaps. Yeah, it's a lovely neutral. So that gives a much more, so when I just added the red, the dark rose to the terracotta, obviously you get a more rosy color. And if you do the purple and the yellow, you get a much more just like neutral tint. Just for funsies, just showing that. I'm gonna make her hair black. I think that would be kind of neat. Or we could make her, again, I want to make sure I'm using all of the colors, but we have such a limited palette. The other option is to add black to some of these other colors to get some different variations. There's really no wrong way to do any of this. It's just like, what are we gonna do? I think the black hair might be too much. I might use the black for maybe like her butterfly wings. What does her green look straight up? Let's see if it gives enough color, especially since we have the under painting just as the background. You can barely see it. Oh, that's so tricky. It's just so light. You know, this is not watered down whatsoever. Fascinating. And of course, having the tinted background is only making her sort of blend in even more. Really are just so light. Not bad, just so light and so different. So obviously I think probably having the dark background was not the best move because of how light the paints were. I knew they were going to be light, but I didn't expect them to be this light. So now you know. And again, it's not bad. It just is. So you can decide when and where you want to use them if you want to. We have some strands coming out. Sort of coming into her own, even though the colors are exceedingly light. She's starting to form her own little personality here, I think. I come outside of the form. Kind of shake things up a bit here. I'm just enjoying drawing sort of these long strands. It's kind of peaceful. Getting into my flow state. You can like actually feel your brain changing when you go into your flow state. I was just doing some research on flow and was so interested to hear how it actually changes like your, raises your dopamine and your serotonin levels and all these things. And it was just fascinating that that's what being in the throes of creation just literally changes your brain chemistry. I think that is super cool. All right, so this is a good show of what the green looks like, kind of by itself. It's a beautiful, beautiful sage color. Yeah, it's actually gorgeous, even though it's, so pale, everything. Super, super pale. So yeah, very exciting. So now I'm going to try some of the different colors. So what we've done basically green, yellow, orange, and red. And we haven't touched the purple. I'm going to make her eyes perhaps the purple. So there's two real purple colors here. There's the dusky mauve, which is sort of like a pinky purple, and then there's the soft lilac. And then again, the blues. Ooh, I can't wait to dive into all of these. Maybe I'll do her wings purple since there are also opposite-ish of the color wheel. Make her eyes have the eyes of that breezy blue. It really doesn't matter what you do, just have fun with no matter what. I'm trying to find a smaller, my brushes are all mixed together. Go back to this one. So I'm going to do the breezy. We could also alternatively use maybe the breezy for her hair as well. Just want to make sure we can like see it. Oh yeah, that's showing up. That's showing up way better than I thought it was going to. Like, way, way better. I was like, well, we can't see her eyeballs. That's for sure. And I do think her skin, now that it's had a chance to kind of set in, actually does have quite a bit of, you know, contrast. It's a little sloppy. I think I can go in and soften some of that out. Let's see, that was this lovely light blue. I think I'm gonna also kind of pop that into her. Ooh, there's that weird like purple band running across her, which is so strange. I'm gonna make her, whatever this is, sundress or whatever. Swipe some color there. Paper is very absorbent, so everything is just kind of getting sucked in. But again, I just wanted to show you how that looks. This blue is gorgeous. Wow, that's absolutely gorgeous. This is called Breezy. Yeah, that is for sure my favorite. This is so pretty. Wow. And again, this is just like an excuse to have a play session. So this is the straight up soft lilac, which we can use perhaps, oh, there we go. There's some color. Hello. Been waiting for you, color. So apparently just the purple has color in it. Just doing almost like dry brushing, just for funsies. And also, nobody does dry brushing anymore ever, so it's kind of fun just to chop some in. And the only color I haven't seen really by itself, well, I guess I'll do the Apple Blossom for the sort of bottom. Ooh, it has barely any color at all. It just doesn't even kind of show up. I'm trying to use little water so I can get the most pigment, and it is resisting arrest. It does not want to come with me. Interesting. Very, very interesting. All right, let's get her eyebrows in. So those will be green to match her hair, but I don't think they're going to show up actually. Nope, I don't think they will. All right, so with a brush, a wet brush, we can just go and maybe soften some of these transitions. I actually love a hard edge in watercolor, but if you don't, all you need to do is sort of, you can go around with your water and kind of blend it out a little bit. That can help. Okay, now let's decide what we're gonna do next. All right, so I'm gonna add, her hair is so if I zoom out, it's still so washed out. I'm gonna try the stone gray, which is this like neutral right here. And I'm gonna try adding that to the green to see if I can get a green that's just a little bit darker to add as sort of the shadow areas, like around in her hair, to give her hair some dimension. And I haven't used this color yet, so It's part of the deal for doing these demos is I got to use all the colors in some way, shape, or form. So, but I'm getting them all covered pretty quick. So I'm just going to see if I can pick up the green to get this grayed out version. So the areas next to her face should be the darkest. It also helps her face to kind of come forward a little. Same thing over here. This should be the darkest color. Again, it's sort of the hair in shadow. It's not really that effective. I kind of can't see it still. Sometimes I will brush the other colors through her hair. But yeah, it's just so light, it's not making any impact whatsoever. So we have this black. I really don't want to introduce black into or onto her in any way, shape, or form. But I have to use black because that's the deal. It's the dealio. So I think what I'm going to use it for is shaping the background to see if we can't get some contrast going so that she will stand out. Let's see if this works. We could also use it for outlining her features too. That we for sure can. But I feel like they might just overpower her. So maybe, just maybe, we can use the black more strategically, but also more dramatically by using it as sort of a background creator, if you will. It's no rules. And again, these sets like set off my creativity in really weird ways that I like. It gets you thinking about things that you may not normally think about when you are choosing all your own colors. And maybe we just ooze this, right? We can use color to dilute, and we want a strong color. We go straight into the palette. Oops. Our messiness. Could drop in some salt to get some cool effects in the black as well, but I'm too lazy to get my salt out, so no salt. This is still wet, so we can still put plenty in there. And then it will disperse. Now I can see her. Finally. So we made a really good use of our black. Nice. I still need to find a creative way to go in and add some detail. I have to go see, did we use all of the colors? I think I did, except for one maybe. Need to go see. Just outlining her head. And you can just use water to kind of disperse this or add more. You can totally add salt and get crazy, but I'm trying to keep this minimal for the interest of time. YouTube audiences who are prone to click away at any hint of becoming bored. Oh, this is the wonderful world of media that we live in now, right? All right, so just willy-nilly, haphazardly filling this in so we can finally see her. Now she is. I dropped a huge splash of water there, and I'm getting some blooms and all these crazy designs in the black. I am so fine with that. All right, so let's look at the palette. What have I not used? I have used the purple for her wings, black, yes, breezy, yes. So the only two colors I have not used are the dusky mauve and the periwinkle, which are this one and this one. So let's see. Since the periwinkle is a blue, we could add that. Let's see how it looks with the other. We could use it for sort of the quote-unquote shaded area. So we can mix like that periwinkle and the stone gray. That was that gray that I tried to use with the green to make it dark. And we could use that to darken up the blue. And then we could essentially have like some darker regions. It's not, again, it's really not working that well. Get any of my blues to pick up some pigment so we can have some darker areas. It just does not want to get any darker. Just doesn't. It's a really pretty color though, but darker, nope. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is actually come in with just a pencil. She's so fair. But she does need some more definition. I think I'm going to come in with like a 0.9 or a 0.7, and I'll put the links to everything in the description box below. And we can add some refinements. But I think the colors, I mean, they're really beautiful. I am not going to say that it's not a beautiful palette. But the colors, make no mistake, are like super light. Like this is as much depth as you're going to get, unless you're going to be adding black into all your colors, which I do not want to do. All right, so now I'm just going to have some fun doodle time with just a pencil, and yes, I hope you enjoy the rest of watching her come to fruition. If you have any questions, pop them in the comments, and enjoy the rest. I'm going to see what we can do to make her come alive just a little bit more. And I will be using the straight up dark rose on her lips because they really have no color, and that's what I'm going to do first. So enjoy.